let's look at this question here. This is the linear programming question. Now, we have total of 6 hours to spend. Okay. Hour he spent on driving and hour he spent on hiking. Total, we have only 2 activity. Okay. I mean, the maximum you can have is 6. If not, it's less than 6. So you look at these 3 here. These 4 possible question. Remember, D is in terms of hours. H also in terms of hours. So D plus H must be either equal to 6 or less than 6. So if you look at these 4 possible answer, only this one meet the requirement. Okay, only that one meet the requirement. In other words, this should be the answer, because this one is more than, this one is in terms of 360, but bear in mind D and H is in terms of hour. So on the right hand side of the inequality sign, this has to be in hour. If you put 360 minute, then it's wrong. Okay, then similarly D is also wrong. So without going further, if there is only one possible answer, it will be A, without actually go and analyze this. Okay. Now let's look at another question. Okay, now question number 4. If a certain sport goods manufacturing company, a quality control expert tests a randomly selected group of 1,000 tennis balls in order to determine how many contain defects. Okay, that means his sample size is 1,000. If the quality expert discovered 13 of the 1,000 were defective, okay, which of the following inference would be most supported? Okay, wait, let's see. What it's saying is 13 over 1,000. Okay, they will give you an answer of 0.013. Okay, that means out of 1,000 I got 13 units. If I this into decimal, this will be the probability. Okay, this will be the probability. What is the probability of getting a defect? If you select one from the 1,000, so the probability of select a defect, okay, that will be equal to 0.013. Okay, now the next thing is with this information, if I convert this into a percentage, it means to say if you take this information, 1.3% are actually are defects. Okay, and In other words, 98.7% are non-defect. Okay. Now let's get which of the following inference will be most supported. Okay, 98.7% of components are defective, so this is definitely wrong. It's actually the reverse. 98.7% of components are not defective. This is correct. This is based on here. 9.87 of the company tennis ball are non-defective. Okay, defective, so these are wrong. These are wrong. Okay, so the answer is B. Now let's look at another question here. What is the greatest possible integer value of 9z minus 18? Now we started off with minus 20 over 7 minus 3z plus 6 minus 11 over 5. Okay, now let's see. Okay, let's put a negative. Let's multiply a negative value across. Okay, so if I multiply a negative 1 across minus 20 over 7, remember when you multiply negative across, you have to change the sign. So it's minus 1 times 3z plus 6. Sorry, this have to be changed. The direction when you multiply a negative 1 11 over 5. Okay, now let's simplify this. So this become minus times minus become 20 over 7. This is minus 1 times minus 3z become 3z. This one is minus 1 times 6 become minus 6. So this become minus 11 5. Okay, now let's look at this. This is 3z minus 8. So if I multiply 3 across this whole inequality, 3 times 3 I will get 9z. 3 times minus 6 become minus 8. Okay, then I will get here equal to this. So I multiply 3 across. 3 times 20 over 7. 3 times 3z minus 6. 3 times minus 11 over 5. Okay, now so therefore this become 9z minus 18. 9z. This become minus 33 over 5. This become 60 over 7. Okay, now let's continue from here. So let's convert into a mixed number. 8 4 over 7 9z minus 18. Oops, sorry. is minus 6 and 3 over 5. Okay, now let's look at the question. What is the greater possible integer value that meet the requirement? So what it's saying is this must be bigger than this. In other words, bigger than this, and then it has to be smaller than this. Okay, let's draw the number line first. Look at this. Okay, now let's say this 847. In other words, it has to be smaller than this. Okay, now then you have the bigger than 6. So this is minus 6 3 over 5. Okay, so it was small. Okay, so you have to be bigger than this. Now the question say what is the greatest possible integer value. So you see, this is not an integer, this is slightly bigger than 8. Okay, about 8.5. So the value that is possible is the value here, which is 8. That is the largest integer that is allowed in this inequality. So the answer would be C. Okay, now let's proceed. Question 6. Okay, basically there's two unknown, J and K. Okay, so we are looking at solving two equations with two unknown. So they are actually working on simultaneous equation. Okay, before we solve this simultaneous equation, the thing is we have to arrange it in a proper format. Okay, normally we will have the two unknown on the left side of the equal sign, and the known constant is on the right side of the equal sign. So let's move it over here. So minus 8j, this bring over to the left hand side, become minus 12k. This one minus 24. If we move it over here, it will become 24. This is your equation number 1. Okay, now let's do this. 7 over 6j. If I move minus 7 over 6j and move it to the left hand side, it becomes positive. So it's 7 over 6j. Okay, plus 5 over 3k. There's no change, is on the left hand side, so we maintain the positive value. Okay, these 3 we move to the right hand side, become minus 3. Okay, now this is your equation 2. If we look at these two simultaneous equation, the coefficient of the two unknown is not 1. Okay, so we cannot use substitution. We have to look at the second alternative, which is elimination. Okay, now the elimination method would be to make the coefficient of one of the unknown to be the same for the both of the equation. That means to say, if let's say I want to make I want to eliminate J first, okay, and keep the remaining equation, end up with a K only, then first thing I have to do is I have to make the coefficient of J for this equation and the coefficient of J for second equation to be the same. Okay, now let's look at eliminate the J. So let's find LCM from this. Now so this is a fraction. If we can, we will convert this first into non-fraction coefficient. Okay, so if you look at it, 6 and 3 are the denominator. So if I multiply 6, then this whole equation 2 will end up without fraction. Okay, so we times 2 across for equation 2, then 2 times 6 cross. So in other words, it's 6 times this cancel, you got a 7 J. Then if we times 6 here, 3 cancel 2 times 5 become 10 K. Then here I times 6 are equal to minus 18. Okay, now let's put the equation 1 side by one on top of another. So you got 12 K equal to 24. Okay, now how would you transform, make a common, so LCM for this 7 and 8. So 7 and 8, the LCM will be 56. Okay, so let's convert this to be having the same LCM, that's 56. So for equation 1, I'm going to multiply by 7. So minus 8 times 7 gives you minus 56 J. Okay, then 7 times 14 will give me 84 K. Then 24 times 7 so it's 168. Let's call this equation 3 now. Similarly, this we have modified. It should become a new name we should give to it. This one should be, erase this first. We should say this as equation 3. Why? Because we have altered it from this to this. They are different. Okay, so we call it equation 3. So this should be considered equation 4. Now equation 3, we're going to times 8. Okay, so 7 times 8 become 56 J plus 10 times 8 become 80 K. Okay, now minus 18 times 8 become minus 144. Okay, now we call this by equation 5. What you do is take equation 4 plus equation 5. What you end up is you have a 0 J plus sorry, you got a minus 4. If you add both, then you add these both together, you will get 24. Okay, if you add this together, you get 24. Therefore, k is equal to 24. Since this is 0j, we can just write minus 4k. Okay, like this. Therefore, k becomes 24. 0 minus 4 becomes minus 6. Okay, you have one answer where k is minus 6. None of them is have a 6 as the k value, so we should take this as the answer. Okay, but you can always do the verification. Let's take one of the equation. Let's take this one without the fraction. Minus 24 minus 8j equal to 12k. Okay, now let's substitute k equal to minus 6. Therefore 12 times minus 6. This bring over here become plus 24. This become minus 72 plus 24 become 48. Okay, become minus 48. This minus 8j. Now minus 8j. Now j become minus 48 minus 8 minus cancel each other, you end up with a 6. Okay, now so you got a 6 here, so this confirm this is the answer. Okay, now let's look at the next question. We stop here, we'll continue in another video.